Sceptics believe that artists, not aliens, are responsible for the mysterious and intricate patterns that appear in farmers' cereal fields. But if that is the case, how did they manage to create such large-scale patterns without leaving a trace of evidence remains a mystery. It is generally believed that crop circles first started to appear in southern England in the 1970s and have since spread throughout the world. However, many people believe that crop circles have been reported for centuries. Historical evidence shows a woodcut from 1678 that appears to show a field of oat stalks laid out in a circle. Some take this to be a first-hand eyewitness account of a crop circle. There has been much controversy about their legitimacy from aliens, spiritual messages and human fakery. However, after 40 years, they are still appearing throughout the world, and people continue to ask the question, why? What do they want? Are they sending us messages or just amusing themselves? After so many years of the crop circles appearing everywhere around the world, we are no closer to solving the mystery. The following are 4 crop circle mysteries and sightings we shouldn't ignore. Number 4. The evidence. As far as we can gather, crop circles first started to appear in Wiltshire in southwest England in the mid-1970s, and their intricate patterns started to amaze people even more so when they were photographed from the air, where you could see just how detailed and exact they really were. Crop circles were initially simple in design and were made mainly from cereals. Since then, crop circles in the Wiltshire region have become more elaborate. In 2008, a 46-metre wide circle formed a mathematical constant, and later that year, a huge jellyfish almost covered a barley field. Formations are usually created overnight, and they appear to be in the same places every year. In 1990, photographer Steve Alexander, who specialises in crop circle photography, filmed a flashing bright light over the field whilst walking on Milk Hill, Wiltshire. The film footage shows a light occasionally dropping down onto the crops before taking off at high speed. It was the first time such phenomena had been filmed around the crop circles. Recently, a farmer said that she'd been inundated by 400 visitors, helicopters and drones ever since a crop circle appeared in her field. Shelley Clint, who farms near Hannington, Wiltshire, said the 60-metre circle appeared overnight on the 2nd of August 2017. And despite trying to keep it quiet, Ms. Clint said online drone footage had attracted hundreds of people. So she installed a cherry picker so visitors could view it without damaging her crops. Number 3. UFOs or time travelers. A scientist who has dedicated his life to researching UFO crop circles says there are puzzles in them containing secret messages. Dr. Horace Drew holds a PhD in chemistry from the California Institute of Technology and is a molecular biologist and has been researching crop circles and aliens for 20 years. He believes crop circles are the work of aliens or human time travelers. He said he'd visited about 24 crop circles around the globe in his career and said they were typically between 50 to 500 metres in length. Dr. Drew said he was one of a handful of scientists around the world who had worked so successfully decoding some of the messages in crop circles. According to him, some crop circles provide general descriptions showing schematic images of the future for astronomical or human events. Dr. Drew has developed at least 2 theories as to the purpose of the circles by reading their advanced version of binary codes. One theory is that they are trying to introduce themselves to us peacefully. He said the dynamic between the way humans interact with dolphins and whales was likely comparable to how extraterrestrials communicate with us. Francine Blake, who started the Wiltshire Crop Circle Study Group, lives in Wiltshire and is a leading authority on crop circles, and has captured a picture of a UFO hovering over a circle where intricate patterns had appeared within seconds. Although there have been hoaxes, Francine believes no hoaxer could make such highly geometric patterns into highly intricate formations in just milliseconds. In 1991, when Francine was filming a half-mile-long serpent-shaped formation, a burst of energy affected her camera equipment, resulting in the film being washed out. Ms. Blake said although crop circles filled her with wonder, their power could be unsettling, and being in one could leave people feeling faint or sick. One of her footages revealed a photograph of a UFO hovering above a crop formation which showed strange orbs of light and other anomalies. On one occasion, she placed the compass in one circle that started going around and round in the wrong direction. Number 2. Authentic crop circles. Scientific analysis has shown that crop circles cannot be made by man. In authentic crop circles, even though the plants are flattened, they are largely undamaged and continue to grow, whereas in hoax circles, the stalks are generally broken, crushed, and often killed. If a human being had been the creator of a crop circle, they would have left a clumsy mark by crushing the weed in order to access the area. Yet the visits in an authentic site do not show such marks. In authentic crop circles, the stalks of flattened vegetation are bent at angles and are often laid out in an intricate and woven fashion. Circular designs are usually swirling clockwise or anti-clockwise from a center point outwards. But instead of the swirl going around and around out from the center in a tight spiral, as tends to be the case in the hoaxes, it often flows in an S shape. Spirals are often made in thin strips where different flows merge. The plants tend to be plated over and under, suggesting that all the plants have collapsed in opposing directions simultaneously. The other fascinating observation is the speed at which circles can be created. One significant testimony happened in 1996 when 2 aeroplane pilots knowledgeable about the crop circle phenomenon passed twice over a field close to Stonehenge. The first time they didn't notice anything unusual in the fields. The second time, a half an hour later, a magnificent crop circle was there. How could all of this have been created by hoaxers in the daytime in just half an hour? Number 1. Meanings. Despite the skepticism around crop circles, you cannot deny that they have left an indelible mark on our culture. Their beauty, geometrical grace, and symbolism across many cultures are sent to intrigue and inspire us. There is no doubt that there is a creative intelligence behind the majority of crop formations, but for some strange reason wishes to remain anonymous. Many people believe that crop formations carry a symbolically encoded message and mythological symbolism, while others see the formations as mandalas of hope for a troubled world. The most common design appears to be the circle, which symbolises unity. Crop circles with rings and satellite circles can resemble diagrams of the chemical elements, with their orbiting electrons and other reminiscent of a Celtic cross. 2 circles of differing sizes joined by an avenue can signify communication between the physical and spiritual worlds. Crop formations have been called temporary temples and seem to show an affinity around centres of worship and spiritual focus. In South Africa, people erect a fence around it and perform dances and other sacred rituals. Maybe they are pushing us towards a spiritual awakening and towards the high aspirations of peace and enlightenment, and are challenging us to learn and ask questions. There is no telling how much longer crop formations will continue to manifest in such great numbers and in such complex forms. Will they continue to evolve? Each year, people wonder just how much more complex they can get, and every year, the creators surprise us with their inventive genius. For one thing everyone agrees on, even the most committed skeptics, is that wherever they come from, the crop circles have brought grace and beauty into the world and are an art of the highest order. If you'd like to find out the latest news and photographs on crop circles, One great website we'd recommend is temporarytemples.co.uk.